Welcome back, All Sports Western New York. He's in studio, ladies and gentlemen, Art Wander. And Art, welcome to our Halloween edition of All Sports Western New York.
It's the Halloween edition, and unlike last year, I'm not going to wear the same costume I wore last year.
What was that?
Naked.
Thank
the women,
God.
200 women chased me all over the mall.
You told me when you first came in you're not much of a Halloween guy?
No, because it comes so quickly and leaves so quickly. You know, the only thing I associate with Halloween is snow, and they're predicting it for this Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable.
Okay. All right, Artie. The Buffalo Bills.
Bills.
Coming off a big win over the New York Jets.
Yes,
and yet
sir.
It's a win that so many people are unhappy about because of the play of the offense.
Well, I'll tell you something. You got to give credit. You got to give credit to Nate Hackett. When he, during the season, before the season, and especially on Sunday, said, we are going to develop the run, he wasn't kidding. You know, 33 running plays, averaging what, 2 yards a pop, okay? Yeah. And only 17 passes against a team that all of the NFL was saying had a very poor secondary, that their secondary was vulnerable to attack. But hey, we're going to establish the running attack. Jerry Sullivan kind of praised him last night, didn't he? Did you hear that?
He praised Nate Hackett?
Yep. He complained about all the people who have been criticizing Nate Hackett after he put up 43 points on Sunday. Interesting.
I don't put much of this on Hackett. I see this as Doug Marrone's philosophy. It's a very collegiate philosophy. It's a very old school philosophy. Run the ball, run the ball. We do the Fred Jackson show. Fred, I'm not going to put him in a position to be critical of either his coach or his offensive line, but it's obvious the offensive line is not producing to the point where this team can run the football, and yet they insist on doing it.
Absolutely, and this guy's supposed to be an offensive line genius, you know.
I don't know who put the term genius next to it.
Well, I just mentioned it in a sarcastic sort of a way. Actually, though, if who designs the game plan? Is it Marrone or is it Hackett?
I'm sure. Well, Marrone obviously signs off on
the game plan. So Hackett says, okay, first 18 plays, 16 of them are going to be runs. You know, I will agree with Jerry and Bucky on one thing, is that when they took a big lead in the second half, run the ball to kill the clock, etc. But to go into halftime only up by 7 points, and then they go 3 and out on the opening possession of the second half, Jets could have come back. And everybody's saying, great win, big win, but against who? Against who, Bob?
Because 1-6 football team.
First of all, here's who they're going to face in the second half. Okay, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Tom Brady. Boy, I'll tell you, that's going to be the test whether the Buffalo Bills have come a real long way this season.
Well, one thing you have to say though, they won Sunday in a game that normally they wouldn't have won.
Right.
You go into New York, forget the records, they haven't won in New York.
I agree.
The game against Minnesota, they played terribly at home. In fact, they've played badly at home except for the Miami game, the last 3 games. And yet they found a way to win. So there is something different about this team.
Right. Defense.
Right.
Defense is awesome. And, you know, they deserve all the praise they're getting. Yet, 175 yards rushing by the Jets on Sunday. That's a lot of yardage. And if you get quarterbacks that can throw the ball like the four that I mentioned, you know, they've got to stiffen up against
the Jets. Run. Vic had a lot of rushing yards for the Jets Sunday. I mean,
69.
But they figured out after the first half how to contain him, and that pretty much put an end to it.
Yeah, they put an end to it. But
what's your prediction on the season for them now, halfway through?
On the season, I will say 9-7, Bob. I will say 9-7.
Yeah, I would go along with that.
I think all the fans should be hoping that by the time they play New England in the last game, New England would have settled everything, their playoff position, and have Belichick say, Tom, we're going to rest you, we're going to rest Amendola, a couple of the other guys, etc. And the same with the other teams, because, you know, you're going to face some pretty good quarterbacks. Cleveland's going to come into Buffalo, and, you know, Patton is going to say, if you ever won a game for me, this is the one I want.
Yeah, that'll be a big one for him.
Yeah.
That'll be a big one for him. What about the play of Kyle Orton? Are you surprised by Kyle Orton?
I wish he was a little more mobile.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he's a sack waiting to be happened. But I'm surprised, not really surprised, because he's been in the league for 10 years. And, you know he can see where he wants to throw the ball. And he's been on target quite a bit, and at least he goes deep.
I got to ask you about Sammy Watkins' premature celebration.
Never should have done it. I saw him take the finger, and all of a sudden, I say, this guy's going to catch him, because he slowed down. You know, going into the end zone. Should never do it, especially for a rookie.
Over your long, illustrious career, Art, have you ever prematurely celebrated?
No, but I received a lot of applause for some of the things I did.
Well, good for you. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. More with Artie Baby Boo Boo on our Halloween edition of All Sports Western New York.
Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! If there's something we